certified professional coach, and she is aces as it relates to relationships. So make some noise, please. And as usual, let me just big up the team who's helping to make this happen. Too many names to count, but make some noise for the JN Circle. I'm seeing, I just want to give a special welcome to all of our regular attendees who are normally on our virtual live class. Welcome back. And just in case you haven't seen some of your regulars on, just nudge them and tell them live class is back. And please hurry up and press the link and come into the live classroom. All right. So I just love to say hello to everybody. Let me know how you do, Shelly-Ann, and we're going to follow through to everybody else.
Boy, it's a good day. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be here in front of an audience. I haven't been in front of an audience in a long time, so thank you for the invite. And I think that this forum is such an important space because lots and lots are taught here and learned here. So I'm happy to be a part of it.
I'm so glad to hear that. All right, Diel, first time attendee, welcome to Life Class, sir.
Thank you. Very, very happy, very excited to be here. And we're excited to also be representing for the men, I may say some things that you all don't agree with today, but hey.
Oh, no disclaimer needed.
That's why I'm here, and I'm just very excited. Big up, who have I been in contact with? Celia did an exceptional job in just communicating and making everything. So big up yourself.
Big up Celia.
Wherever you're there, Celia, big up yourself.
Big up yourself. Awesome. And Lady Kaysha, how are you today? How you do? Welcome to Life Class.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here on this stage. Talking about something that I think is so important. People want to find relationships but don't intend to be. They don't know how to work. Really find
oh Lord.
They don't want to work out. You understand? So people that need some tips, some do's, some don'ts, talking things them ready.
Listen, and that Bayesian accent is going to be spicy all throughout the conversation. So listen keenly, take notes, and do what you have to do. All right. Let me just big up some of our attendees online. Julie O'Sullivan. Hi, Julie. And welcome back, Shireen. It's so good to see you all back in live class. All right, so Kaysha started on a very powerful note, which is the perceptions that we hold about dating. So the reality is that a lot of people don't so love the dating piece. I've heard expressions recently like dating is the ghetto, right? That there's too much stress involved in that piece, so people just want to jump over and skip over into the dating, right? Or the talking part. So I want to talk a little bit today about what do you think dating is? And importantly, what dating is not. Because I think we kind of make assumptions, but we want level set in life class this evening. What is dating and what is dating not? So let me start with Shelly-Ann.
Well, what is dating? One would say, our good friend Google will probably tell us that dating is a period where a couple sort of gets to know each other before they decide to get into something more long-term, to get into an intimate relationship. But I like to look at dating in the Jamaican context because it is my belief that Jamaicans don't date, we go out. And at some point, we're there. Now, the distance between go out and there varies. So, dating in the Jamaican context really depends on the individuals and what it is that they want. What's the goal that they're heading towards, or if they're heading towards a goal at all. Sometimes the there happens because enough people still not together, so now they're there. It might not be something that's intended to happen, but you just accidentally there. So, that would be my loose definition of dating in our cultural context. Yes.
I love the cultural perspective because it's necessary to talk to Jamaicans and people in the diaspora who are joining us virtually as well. So Diel, what is dating and what isn't?
Sure. So dating is just seeing if you and the person have a good vibe. That's it. So you talk, and I mean that's why online dating is so important right now, because you can figure out a couple things from even just talking on Instagram. It's not just over WhatsApp. Reply to her stories, leave a heart eyes, and then she likes it, right? And after that, now you say, reply again, and this time don't leave the heart eyes, but you say something kind of funny, and she says lol, and then once you get the lol, bro, we're not in anywhere yet to anywhere close, but it's a start. and you watch how the conversation progresses. If she's seen you a couple of times, just ease up, right? I mean, if you're a persistent guy and really enthralled by this person that you don't even know, then you can probably go ahead. But that's what dating is. When she'll all know, and you say, hey, and you go back and forth. Are you guys liking that vibe? Is it enough to say, so we've been talking on this for a couple of weeks now. You want us to go to Devon House and get some ice cream? No, it's important to mention Devon House because you don't want to spend too much money on the first one. Very important point. Right?
That is
very, very important. Don't care, go get no lobster, no, you're mad. Nothing like that. First, not on the first date. $800 for a single pound. And
so Diel, I'm a little curious as to why you're so aware of the exact money for the pound though. Like,
because it's important to know these things. Right? So that's what dating is. Dating is you're not into anything. You're just seeing how you vibe together. What it is not is what I was saying. When you read somewhere now, bro, then she can get lobster. Then you can explore spending more money, investing more. But it is not any man when say him go up on a first date and spend, well, unless you're really rich. But we normally use we have built up a thing. Don't carry no girl for no lobster for no first date. That is what dating is not. Thank you.
According to Diel, that is what dating is not. So I hope you brought your journals to take notes.
Oh, I'm
we're going to have some
notes.
gems. Shelly-Ann is burning, but let me jump over to Kaysha to frame dating for us according to your perspective, Kaysha.
I'm happy that you raised the question, Kamala, because I actually suffer from not knowing what dating was. Dating is an exploration.
Yes.
Nothing more, nothing less. But I don't think we do it for the perspective. You meet some person, and on the first date, you want to get something. I was guilty. No, if you weren't going to be a boyfriend in 10 minutes, 25 seconds, and 30 seconds, this dating thing didn't make sense. But where is the exploration? Let's say dating gives you data about the person as well as yourself.
That's right.
So we have to approach dating that perspective. And then when you do all this kind of barriers that we build up against start to dissolve. Dating is about having fun, exploring, seeing if it works. It always works. But I think person for you, or the person not for you.
It's good information to have.
How is it not working? So that's dating. So dating, as the other concept, is not exclusive partnership. Don't go on a date and expect the person to carry on and say, this is my job. That is not dating. That is a conversation or exploration or necessary progression. Dating is just about data finding. That's what I'm saying.
That's
I
excellent.
I love it. And I see a member of our audience says that to her, dating is like an audition.
Yes.
It's like an interview.
Yes.
I like it. So, based on how Shelly was bubbling, I really want to hear what Shelly agree with or don't agree with from what Diel said.
You know, the most entertaining part of what Diel says is when he gives you the comment and tell you which emoji go with it. I enjoyed that immensely. And when he said no lobster on the first date, the only thing I wanted to know was, then what if you in the mood for lobster though? Like, we can't just want to go on a lobster date because it's the first date. That's
who's in the mood? Me and you going on a date. Who's in the mood? Me or you?
Me. She's in the mood for lobster.
You're in the mood for lobster.
And you're in the mood for $800 Devon House.
So all right, okay. Really what I had was a question. So obviously your comment was made based on the financial investment in the date.
Right.
So what if them says modern time now and is gender equality and such, and you meet a young lady who you're not going on a date and she say, well, you know, I'll order lobster and I'll pay for it.
Then that's fine.
No, I'm just asking these questions.
No, the general thing really is, it's not even about lobster or ice cream. It's about
the investment.
Do not invest heavily until you are further along in knowing that there is an ROI, return on the investment. When will you know that? After some time of exploring, I should say, getting data. A lot of the men, I see, enough of my brethren, them want show off on the girl and them things. You know, carry her go out, get more, get this and that. First time knowing the girl, and what to them is that the girl order everything. And then afterwards, she gone. She just using them. So I'm just telling you guys, take your time. All right? Nothing is wrong with ice cream. Nothing is wrong with waiting until you are more sure, because you'll never be sure. People get married and get divorced. Until you are more sure, that's when you start to invest heavily. That's the concept. That's the concept.
So I think this brings up, sure.
I think the greater point that they're maybe making as well is greater than the financial investment. The financial investment is also linked to emotional investment. When you want ice cream is a different financial, emotional investment and a bigger experience. So maybe a part of that as well. Now listen, you comment?
Yeah.
So Kaysha, I'm getting feedback that your mic is low. Just project a bit for us.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Read Sean's comment.
Shauna.
So Shauna says, if I'm asked, let's go to dinner and I should choose, I choose what I normally eat. And if a lobster, me used to, right? As my normal, me not eat hot dog. And Shauna said what Shauna said. Okay? So Kaysha, finish your point, and then I will just raise a little issue about expectations and how to manage for that as well.
Yeah, no, I was just making the point that linked to the financial investment is also the emotional investment,
Right.
which is you don't go in the same point. You don't go and expect it to be everything. And maybe when you just buy ice cream, you have a different emotional expectation than if you go in there and make it the most elaborate day. So that came to my and made his point as well.
So here is a very important thing to bear in mind, right? You just meet the stranger in many instances, and we're going on a date. There is an important element of how to manage expectations.
Yes.
Because I could be used to, as Shauna said, I love to meet regular.
Yeah.
And I spend my money on me and give myself the good things then.
Yeah.
And then here comes Diel, for example, right?
Ice cream.
Just for example, we're not picking on Diel.
Ice cream.
For a hemp.
No one ice cream.
Diel one says,
Who
Diel
wants
one
to
house
Diel?
ice cream. And I eat ice cream. But maybe my idea of a date, and especially because Diel came into the room, basil from head to toe.
Look like he can buy lobster.
Look like he can manage the lobster work. So maybe I'm just like, well, this don't really match. So I think my point therefore is how important it is, even in the early stages, to really speak our truth. And not to, like, even though I agree with the audition piece, when people audition, they show you what they really have. They're not trying to cook up something to match what you are looking for. It's important to say, well, I'm looking for like a Jade Gardens type of situation. And I think even that is important, even the way we communicate, because sometimes people come across as condescending. Like, if you can't afford Jade Gardens, then you are not worthy to speak, don't need to speak to me. Like, I'm going to block you on WhatsApp. And I think that's low value to me, right? But I think we can have differences without judgment.
For sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shelly.
Thank you.
Most welcome.
I think, okay, I want to get away from the financial conversation for a second, because part of what we find ourselves in is a situation where one party is spending the money and the other party is expected to give something in exchange for the fact that one party is spending the money. So let's take that out of the
that part.
thing. Right, let's just remove that from the scenario right away. I think your point about expectations is very, very, very valid, because part of what happens in relationships that makes them successful is communicating those expectations and then putting the other person in the position to know what it is that you want, and they can decide whether or not they can meet that expectation. And part of what a lot of persons, the biggest obstacle I believe that happens in a dating scenario is that we lie. We are dishonest.
Straight up.
And we lie from day one. Because a lot of persons go out on dates with somebody and they're not available for date nobody. Shoot is shoot.
First to commence.
First, off the bat. And then you misrepresent yourself because you might have wanted lobster, but you never not go buy ice cream. When you never want ice cream, you don't even like ice cream. You would have preferred some sorbet, but never not going to tell that. I never know. But all I'm saying is, it is important for us to be truthful when we are talking about expectations, because you might say you have an expectation and get it met, and your body is still not getting what you want because you were not truthful with what you want. And I think that's very, very necessary if it is that you want something more than just the meal or whatever the experience is in the date.
And there's a very important element to what we shared so far about the expectations of the exchange.
Yes.
So let's talk about the social exchange now, because they'll tell the truth in many instances.
Mm-hmm.
To the degree that the money runs, there is the expectation that some other things
And that's a problem.
will be applied.
Right.
Mhm.
But see, that is why you, as a man, you must not. You can't run it like that. You can't have it. It's almost like I can't speak plainly. This me and my brethren talk about this all the time. Nowadays, it's coming like almost prostitution.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah, buy
talking things.
some things. See? So you have different levels. So you have a $5 grand where you can buy a KFC. No, KFC, not even so much. A $1 grand. And then you have a
1,500, 50 grade.
1,500, right? And then might want like extra wings, and you buy them a biscuit and a corn and stuff. So you might go up to $2 grand. And you do that maybe a 3 times, and you get boom, that's what? Boom, $5 grand. And then you have a 15 grand now where you have to go and eat an Indian restaurant, and then you have the 30 grand lobster.
But I can't eat though.
Yes, right. So then that is what I don't really like, where it is. That is what it is, because them things in the last. So when the money don't know, oh, she gone. You understand? So that is a problem that we're having now. That's the problem that men are having. Women, I can speak for men, where it's like, all right, it's like don't make a down payment for a car. You pay for it until you get it now and then. So when you get it, then what happens? We're not dating. We're just having sex. That's what it is. So
And Diel, there is a space for all models, But
Yes.
I think going back to our initial point of honesty,
right.
like if that's what you're looking for, and ladies in the
Right.
room, tell me if I'm wrong or right, but oftentimes that's the piece that gets a lot of people jaded. Like a lot of women will be like, well, if I did that, just said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand?
Speak your
I don't
truth.
want we gang up on Diel because of him want to pay, because I hear so many in the audience, right? But it's true, honesty is a crucial part, and sometimes we play the game a little bit too much.
Right.
And I don't think dating for adults should have any game playing. It should be just the honest truth of, listen, I'm looking to have a good time.
Right.
I'm looking for casual. Casual works for me. All right. And then the other person can say, actually, I'm retired
want
from
more.
casual.
Right.
Yes.
You understand? And such and such. But Diel, I interrupted you. Please continue your point. And I think we have a question from the audience in a brief moment.
I think I stated it where, and then that's a problem too, where the ladies know are they take, and then they know give. So then, no, it's true.
Can you say?
Them take.
Yes.
And when it come on to time now, when the man say, all right, we'll go 4, 5 times. You tell me, say you short for your rent last month, and send you $15,000. You say your ear want to do, and you can't come out again because whatever. I'm send you 15 grand to do your ear, I'm send you 10 grand for do your nails. All right. You say we're going to go back to your house now. We're going back to your house now.
HerFlow Foundation is in the building, right?
All right.
By the way,
So fine.
period
Fine.
sex is a thing. Continue.
Fine. You don't want your period, right? So if we go out again now, right? Because that's why it's not sustainable. Yeah, you see why where it's not sustainable, because it's just exchange. Well, this is what I advocate for a more sustainable and emotional, intelligent dating experience. Apart from just saying what it is, really try to get to know the person outside the context of just give and take. Come on, that's literal prostitution. Get to know the person. Can you vibe with them? How your energy bounce off of them? You can go out and you think it and we're all right, and is he a gentleman? You put it on the inside and then little things that you have to tell him certain things.
Based on what's important to the person. Because some people are not into the gentleman thing anyway.
Well,
so
yes,
there's also that.
There's also that.
So I hear a lot of bubbling up in the audience. So let us take our first audience member question. I can't wait to hear.
Ooh.
And there are so many. So many
Bible
comments
speaks
in the
against
chat,
period
right?
sex. Bible speaks against a lot of things that we enjoy, but that's not the topic today.
Thank you, sir, and good evening. Could you tell us your name and go ahead with your question or comment, please?
Hello, good night, everyone.
Good night.
My name is Walter Williams.
Hello.
Let's have a short comment.
Sure.
I was saying somewhere, and a new security guard came, and she was working, and we spoke, and she said that she didn't have any food. And I wasn't in a cooking mood. I went upstairs and I cooked something, and I brought some down for her. And I remember another time we went out, I took her to Louisiana, bought something for her. And then another time I went home from work. I said, man, I feel like going out. I'd like to see this person. I reached out to her and I said, money low, but I really want to see her. And she said to me, you can buy me dinner. I said, money low. I mean, I was just thinking of that, we could just go to Devon house and just chill and talk. And she said to me, look here, right? I use so more than Devon house.
Wow.
Right? And if me do want somebody, who can, if me want somebody just can go Devon house, well then, well, eventually what happened is that we just delete her number because she did also send me mean too. And this is after one cook for her.
Yes.
All right, me carry her out and now we money low and I said, "Corey go out now," and she don't remember those times, but no, she can't say that me mean because I can't afford something. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Can you just applaud Walter? Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes. So Kaysha would like to respond to your comment, Walter.
Walter, she did you a favor.
Yes.
Because up front, she showed you who she was and you didn't have to waste your time. Because you would have continued spending all your little money or however much money you have, and then she would have turned out not to be for you. So, Walter, consider her having done you a favor. All right? Yes.
Fully agree.
That's wisdom.
Fully agree.
Right here.
She did you a favor.
So we are talking about dating and like the broad, elements of it. I kind of want us to zone in a little tips on the online aspect of it because I know many people who feel many types of ways about the online dating perspective because it feels more scary than meeting up with somebody in real life, feeding off them energy. You see how them carry themselves, you see them sharp like Diel, if them smell good, you understand? The hygiene, how they treat the waiter before you kind of start to engage with them, kind of a thing.
Yes.
So what would you say? I'm going to ask each of you to respond to this. What would you say to woman or man who says, look here, I'm looking for love, but the online thing, no. So I would prefer to block that option and wait maybe, as opposed to seeking love through online means. What would you say? Let me start with Shelly.
Well, the first thing that I would say is that the great thing about online dating is that it allows you to target. Now, you have dating sites for different people with different interests. You can find it based on if you are a Christian or not, if you ride horses or not, if you like fast cars or not. So it allows you to target. What I would advise in terms of an approach for online dating is don't start off trying to find your spouse. Start off trying to find new friends. And when you start off like that, you can choose a whole heap of people and eventually narrow it down. So treat it like, all right, so, you're just going to meet a bunch of new people and I'll see how I feel about them and then how I want to treat them afterwards. People who I know who have successfully online dated, they've been on a whole heap of different sites. When they just start out, they didn't just go on that one site. They go on a bunch of different sites and they explore different people and they have conversations with people for different reasons. Some of them, they like the same music or they're funny or whatever it is. So that is the way that I would approach it, because you have to realize that in the online space, all is not what it seems. So somebody will put up a really nice profile. They don't look like that. Even if they used to look like that, that picture is 25 years old. They don't look like that anymore. They have lost a few teeth. Them hair color changed. Them have some wrinkles now. They don't look like that anymore. So you have to start to approach it with a grain of salt and understand that you are going to have to pick through some riffraffs. So don't expect to find perfection right as you go on. Just keep an open mind and explore and pick and choose and refuse. That's the great thing about online dating.
some mindset, like
Yes,
the perception
ma'am.
that you have going into it is important.
Correct.
We're going to hold that point because I know Kaysha have something similar to say, right? Diel, what are your thoughts to somebody who's like, nah?
I mean, it's a beautiful thing, I think, because it allows for us to almost eliminate certain things. You don't have to waste time and go meet somebody when you're already know you don't like them based on the conversations that you have had.
Yeah.
You know, you get to hear about their perspectives. So, you know, you can literally tell when somebody's, you know, a little aggressive, controlling sometimes,
Yes.
just by typing. So you say, all right, you know what, this is not the one for me, because they're not going to tell me something, need to reach it by 9 o'clock and so on. So you don't bother waste time and go Devon House. Devon House. So there's that. I mean, in my peers with online data a lot, so I guess I don't have the experience of meeting people who are not so much into it, right? Because everybody, that's what you do. You online date, you meet the person on Instagram or TikTok or somewhere, and you start to message, and then, you know.
And that's an important point you just made there, and it coincides with Pat's question: what online sites are there for Jamaicans? Because I think oftentimes you think about only Bumble, only Tinder, but you just mentioned Instagram.
Oh,
No,
right.
and then Jamaica open to the world. Come, people, expand your horizons. If you're open to the world, it's an online dating exists. Even if the person lives at Geneva, you can connect with them same way. Geography is not an issue anymore.
Right.
But it's not so much the typical dating site. It's
social media.
Right. You can date on Instagram. You can date anywhere. You can once you're talking to the person and they're interested in you, you're interested in getting to know. That's what dating is. As we would have said, date, like getting more data. You can get data not only on Tinder and those other sites, but right there on Instagram, right there on Twitter. You know, somebody tweets something and then, you know, you say lol, and then you continue on.
I feel like I can tell somebody's age, but if they say lol or LOL, right? I don't know if it's just me. And listen, Shireen says Devon House need to pay JN for this promotion. And I'm fully Shauna, you preach it strong tonight. Thank you for coming through. And Shauna also said, when you do the online dating, like how Diel mentioned it, you can decide not to waste your good outfits and your gas money, which is
and gas is way too expensive
right now. So Kaysha, on your end, what would you say to somebody who's like, you to online dating?
I would say why limit your opportunities. If you were going to apply for a job, I wouldn't just apply for a job that three people told me about. I would look online in certain job seeking opportunities. I would want to look every single where. So why is it that when we're looking for love, which people seem to like reduce the importance of it, we want to limit ourselves? As Diel said, you have a lot of control over online dating. You have actually a shield behind the online dating platform that you don't have to go past if you want. So to date and to feel as though it has to be a scary experience, that's your perception. It's all about how you date. And you know, we've spoken before, Kamala, about what I call dating masterfully.
I love it.
So that's really what it's all about. Your mindset, your perception, how you approach it, and recognizing, look here, why would I look for a man within 3 people when I could look within 1,000 people? And I could just lay down my bed and I could do tick, no, this works for me. This don't work for me. It literally is open up your horizons. If you're serious about love, you look everywhere. You look where you're gonna find it. You look where people are looking. That's if you're serious. And you approach it with mindset and look here. This is not the end of the world if it don't work. I can dust off, I can go again. I'm gonna date masterfully. And we can talk about that in a little bit.
So when Kaysha said, if you're serious, then you look anywhere. I heard the audience say,
look everywhere.
I feel like we have some people who might be looking for love in the audience today, right? I love it. So I think it's a perfect segue into going into the mindset of what Kaysha defines as masterful dating. Kaysha, what that mean? What does it include? What does it look like? What does it look like? Tell us.
It's something I coined in my coaching framework. And dating masterfully, there are 4 things: open, curious, vulnerable, and detached. Open, curious, vulnerable, and detached. You're open to what the person is saying, who they are, who they really are, not who you want them to be. They're asking curious questions, you know? Oh, tell me more about that. You know, what does that really mean? You're listening, you're detached, you're open, curious, you're vulnerable. You're sharing parts of yourself that is a little bit vulnerable. But if you're looking for honest and authentic connection, you have to be vulnerable. All these kind of walls come out of everybody come and he got to show me he liked me before I like him, and he got to do this before I do that. Give me a break. Like, what is that? So you have to be vulnerable, but also detached. What I mean by detached, outcome, you don't require it to be anything. If a person say, look here, I don't want to be a father, no, but why would you say that? Why would you say you don't want to be a father? You'd be such a wonderful father. If the person don't want to be a father, don't want to be a father. I don't want to be in a committed relationship. But and listen, I am only saying that because I have been there and done that. I don't want to relate. Look here. I don't want to be in a relationship, but why would you say that you'd be an amazing person? Look here.
Be a good wife.
Understand? So be detached from the outcome so that you can hear what the person's actually saying, not what you want to hear. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, on to the next person.
I think we need to clap about that. Clap about that.
No, it's worthy of a clap, right? And I just want to say these are facts upon facts upon facts, and there are barriers, obviously, which make it hard. Not the truth, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes society tell you that, I'm sorry, where is the ring on your finger? Good, clean, pretty skin girl like you. Why not married yet?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
or they say to Diel, oh my God, Diel, some child somewhere needs to have your eyes. Like you need to hurry up and get into a committed relationship so you can fulfill, fill the earth with some mini Diels. And all these pressures come into play. And so I think another important piece to talk about is the work. And I think we need to do on ourselves before we start looking on people's son and people not. Right? So let me jump over to Diel.
And they come back to me. They come back to me, Kamala.
Let me jump over to what's happening here.
I think Shelly is ready.
Are we having a moment?
And they come back, Kamala. Trust me.
Shelly is ready.
So, instead of coming to know what Shelly is going to say, I want to know what Shelly is going to say. Let me hear you first. And I can preempt Shelly, right?
All right, no problem. So work on the self. Work on the self is most important because that is where, I don't know which school have this motto, so know thyself. That is the truest thing you could ever do in your life. Know yourself. You want to understand what it is that you want out of this life, because a lot of us just kind of go in the flow. Somebody say, come give me a daughter, man. Look where you look nice. Yes. You don't know if you want a daughter or not. You just tap on it. But nobody want a daughter. And then, so come give me a son, man. You're just going along with life. You have to know what you want out of life. You have to know who you are. What it is that you want to accomplish out of life. I am in a place in my life now where I want to build and I want to establish myself in certain ways, in certain spaces, and that's what I'm doing. So if you come now and say, all right, I want for us to get married right now and for us to start a family. And in my head, I'm saying, all right, well, that's not what I want to do. I communicate that clearly. And I say, well, that's not what I want to do right now. I'm going to build this here. I have a 3-year plan, then I am open to doing that because I know myself. I'm not going to make you come now, Shelly, and say, well, is you going to marry me now? Or I'm going to say, no, I know what I'm doing with my life. I know myself. I know what I want out of my next 3 years, and this is what I'm doing. I'm investing my time and energy right here. So I know myself, and I do that. So you have to know yourself. What you want out of a relationship. That's so important.
Facts.
Crucial.
Absolute facts.
As a Shelly, can I subdue a little bit? No.
Listen, I spend a whole heap of my time advocating for women to have their voices and to speak up. And I also spend a good amount of that time engaging in conversations with men, and it is always a great opportunity for me when I hear a man with a purpose speak, because we as women, we have a whole heap of things to say. Sometimes we need to just listen, right? So I was just taking him in because he said something to me in his comment just now that spoke to his purpose. And a lot of the times when we enter into these dating scenarios, we immediately expect persons to fit our purpose and to adjust whatever plans they had before they meet us 3 weeks ago to now this. And the fact that he can say, look here, I have a plan for me that is still in motion, and you want to come along for the ride is one thing, but understand that this is my plan that I have for me, I thought was very powerful. So that's I was really just taking in what he was saying, because we need to listen more sometimes.
All the time.
Forever student, I'm learning.
I want to go back a little bit to the piece about openness to what is and not what we want it to be.
Yeah.
And I also want to add to the a different perspective to what exploring you can mean as well. It's significant, if I say so myself.
So, exploring you.
I want to hear. I
Right?
want to hear.
So, it is so easy, as Diel shared the example, for somebody to tell you point blank, you know, I'm looking for casual, like cash, right? I'm looking to just hang out and see what can go on. It's so easy to be on the receiving end of that, and ladies tell me if I'm lying, and we hear that and we say, change it.
Oh gosh.
You know?
Lies
Upon lies, right?
Oh, well,
You realize, oh, me say it gentle, because that's how we tell ourselves,
he was changed for me.
for me. And then now there's an element where we tell ourselves a bigger lie that once we drop all the good things then upon him, then we flip the mind up with all
We have
kind of
the
things.
change your mind thing.
We have the change your mind, powerful things you're working with, right? And it's a setup because people just come and extract it and then filter and say, what did it tell you? June 15, 2021, the Annabelle this month, right? So it's important for us to hear and to continuously be open.
Yes.
What did the person say? There is a reason why they said it. There's a reason it worked for them.
Yeah.
And I now have agency. I can actually make a decision because I think too often we're waiting to be chosen. No. And so we almost give up the power to the other person. Choose me. And so we bend up ourselves in some multiple different shapes to fit into some spaces that we know in our heart is not for us. Because we're just like, what does it mean if this one doesn't work out? So one of the major perception challenges we have about dating is what if it doesn't work, the potential of failure, or how we perceive failure in this space to mean. So you go on 5 dates and then your friend them see you, no picture on Instagram again, and we feel some type of way. When in reality, as Kaysha has been saying, it should be an exploration. Let me see.
Yeah.
And then another powerful shift to do is to say, as opposed to saying, I wonder if this person will like me or choose me. I wonder if this person is worth me, is worthy of me and my time and energy as well. So the kind of, shifting of perspective, right, is so important to do. Kaysha, exploring you and what that can mean.
To come back, you just touch on the Jesus Christ syndrome. I just like, because Kamala, I feel strong with the Jesus Christ syndrome as well. Yeah.
Tell us what it means, Kaysha.
The Jesus Christ syndrome is you feel as you can change a man. A man
or a woman.
Or a woman.
Yes.
The person tells you who they are.
Jesus Christ syndrome.
That's what I call it. The Jesus Christ
syndrome.
That's the Savior syndrome.
Right. Don't get something.
That's what I call it in my coaching. In my coaching.
I'm gonna use this. I want to remember it correctly.
So somebody tell you something, you drop in the Jesus Christ syndrome. In fact, Kamala, this is about the Tinder Swindler. This is the framework against which it was set. One of the first things that caught my attention when watching that, when the lady, I can't remember her name, I think she was Celia. Celia said, oh gosh, I thought I could save him. In like that, I thought I could save him.
Did you say Celia?
And was that her name? The first lady that got swindled. I can't remember on the Tinder Swindler.
Yeah.
She's like, oh gosh, I thought I could save him. And that's what we do in the Jesus Christ syndrome. We're always saving people from something. And then when they actually turn out to be who they actually are, you have a problem. Listen, but Kamala has another point. Let me just drop in this, the explore you point as it relates to the dating mindset. Diel talked about exploring yourself, sharing your purpose, your values. I want to add a different perspective. Exploring you is also exploring your blocks and your barriers to love. So I'm going to drop a little hot quote for you by Rumi. Our job is not to seek love. Our job is only ever to seek all the blocks and barriers we have built up in ourselves against love. You want me to drop it again, Shelly-Ann? Shelly-Ann, you want me to drop it one more time? You understand the accent? Okay, let me write it down. Take notes. You understand? Take notes. Drop it in the chat. Somebody drop it in the chat. You understand? Our job is not to seek love. Our job is merely to seek all the blocks and barriers we have built up in ourselves against love. And I'll put that into perspective and tell you what you mean. We come into relationships with hurt, pain, bitterness, judgment, shame, all kinds of things. A good man come to you and you can't accept that love because you have all these blocks and barriers. Yeah, the person hold the bottle. So, oh gosh, my father sold the bottle, so he was never in my life, and all of a sudden, he is a problem. You have a block. He is not the problem. You have a block. So, explore yourself. I believe, in the dating perspective, is really recognizing what have I built up within myself against love. What experience has left me so scarred that I'm so embarrassed? I feel so ashamed. I feel so unworthy of love. Nobody can love you.
Oh.
So exploring yourself is exploring your blocks, barriers, pain, hurt, bitterness, lack of forgiveness, embarrassment, shame are some of the most ones that I see in my coaching experience. Clear those. Love is literally on the tarmac waiting to land. And I like to tell clients all the time, look here, love is waiting to land, right there, it's outside this room. It can't land. It can't land in the fog. You ever was on a plane, the plane had to circle, move your blocks and your love will land. Yeah?
Put it on a t-shirt, somebody.
On a t-shirt.
On a t-shirt, somebody.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Shelly, you're moving.
Feels in your spirit, Shelly.
Church.
Bubbling.
And the comments are also bubbling. So let me hear from
I want to acknowledge Makeda. Hi, Makeda. Thanks for joining. Yes.
I'm just physically manifesting what's going on in the comment section right now, because we all feel it, ladies. And gentle people in the comment section. See, listen to me. You said it so well. When I talk to girls about self-esteem, and even in how they take their photos, they can't just take a regular picture. They have to put up 100 filter, and then they take the picture and they don't look like that. But that is the image of themselves that they accept. And you say the plane can't land in the fog.
No, it can't land.
Look here, no man.
Shelly, get the word where she comes from. That's it, right?
It's like and it is so clear that a lot of the times we are our own obstacles.
Always.
And you have a lot of persons who have written books and sold a lot of them that given us some very bad advice. And because they're so popular, some of these books were turned into movies. And
we will not mention
they give us
names
no,
on the program.
I shan't mention any names, but y'all know I'm talking. And so we take some bad advice that puts us in a position where we look at ourselves with so much judgment. Yes. And it makes it difficult for us to even clear some of these blockages, because in order to fix the problem, you have to admit that the problem exists. Yeah. And in order for us to admit that the problem exists, we cannot allow ourselves to be so vulnerable. So we can't even get to the point where we heal. And then, and I'm gonna talk to the ladies for a moment. A lot of us take our pain and turn some good man in a jankra.
Ooh! Just go up and watch a while ago.
You have some jankra out there that will tell you, say, somebody took advantage of him, and he's now the president of the jankra committee. And he can tell you her name and tell you exactly what happened. And we don't do it on purpose, but we have a lot of unhealed wounds, and we cannot, healing is painful enough. And we cannot go through what we need to go through to dismantle defenses and to become someone that is capable of receiving all of the things that this man was trying to give her. And then she turned him in a jankra.
Yes. Your voice is needed. This is a very auspicious moment. Please come through, sir.
So what I want to do is to look at solutions, to realizing that you are in need of healing. So I meet women all the time who have not healed. And they go ahead.
I'm sorry, Claudine just said, and sometimes it was his mother, but that is for
another
and I also want to help the gentleman to realize when a woman is not ready for no relationship.
Speak on it, sir.
So when you hear a woman say something like, "No man, what a man them worthless and wicked." That is one way we know.
Blockage.
When she hate man, you ever talk about a woman with hate man? Me hate man. She hate man. She not heal for. She I get broke up 20 million times. You want to date this woman now, bro? No. When a woman, I mean, for me, it becomes very obvious in just speaking to them. Yeah. When you talk and you hear so much pain in their voice and they get hurt so many times. And then I also want to say that ladies, you need to stop continuing dating, right? So much like this man I hurt you, and then this next man I start talk to you now, and then you're gonna take it out on me. I never do that to you. Never do that to you, but I take it out on me now. May never work out, and you just jump in our next thing, and you jump. It's just so destructive. Take some time, man. Just take some time. Be by yourself. All right. Healing takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
It takes time, and it takes first the admittance that there's a problem. And trauma can go all the way back to lady say your mother can instill some of that. It can go all the way back to your childhood. So it's about thinking about the things that perhaps are triggering why you are responding in a negative way to normal situations here. This guy tell us that him love you when you're 16, and him shouldn't be having 15. He shouldn't be having sex, right? And you love the boy when you're 15 and you're there with him for a year, and then him take your virginity, and then you find out that him been married, and then that hurt you. But then after that, no, you go talk next week and you love the boy, and he's a soldier, and 1 year I love him gear, and him left you. One day him just start talk to you, and then you go there with this next man now.
But Diel, the story so really. I don't know if I mean the story.
No, we know people. All of us know people like this.
Like a smaddy.
We know people like this.
Just tell me her name. She named Kaysha.
No, we know people like this.
This is the high school with her.
We know people like this. And they say, all right, we're not talking to them bad man. And they'll talk to a nice teacher youth. Right? And I'm boring.
I'm too nice.
And I'm too nice. But then you have so much hurt from the soldier and the next youth where they have him wife and so on. You just jump. You never heal. So it's so important. And you'd be surprised how many women. It's a high percentage. And I really want to use this platform to talk about that rather. It's a high percentage of women who have not healed from a lot of these traumas, and men as well.
No, just about to say
I have some amazing ex-girlfriends, right? Amazing. To this day, if they're appropriate, would I call their name and say, big of yourself. Right?
I think because I know at least one of them.
You know one. Then they have to, one of them said to me, say, so it's because your father behave like this and treat you like this, why you treat me like this? I made the night, look at her and say, don't say them things. Yeah, hurt my feelings. Zine, and she come back and say, it's true. Me used to say some things to her and do some little things I'm not afraid of doing. Then take me through like healing, and we'll work on it. So yeah, man, your partner can also help you in that regard, but you have to be open to it. I was definitely not open to it at first. Yeah. But when you have somebody patient, as I said, big up yourself. So, but very, very important to heal. All of us more than likely have something to heal from. Every single one of us.
Diel, I think we should frame aspects of what you just said. And it's so weird because here we are talking about online dating, right? And dating in general, a very sexy topic. Are we going into healing, which is a very unsexy topic? Are we talking about red flags?
Healing is sexy. We just made healing sexy. Look at that. Done. Healing is now
done. Achieved. And but it's so core because Diel mentioned something about how we keep showing up with the same trauma, the same patterns over and over. And I know why we do it. It's because we're trying to fill a void.
Yes.
So it never work out over here, and the attention and the validation from one new guy, it feels almost like a drug. Yeah. And we just keep chasing the breadcrumbs until we end up in a space where it's unsustainable. And Absolutely. Then we end up hurting people now.
Definitely.
And then sometimes we're not open to even the feedbacks that we are hurt them. There's one big rift that just continues getting created over and over. I want to jump into our comment section because it's juicy over there.
Oh, it's very spicy over there.
Shauna, etc. So Claude, somebody had dropped a note. Shauna had dropped a comment earlier up in the chat that said that we should not date potential. Somebody in the audience said that's true.
Yes.
And then Claudine came in and said something to it. She was pretty much saying, should it be as general as that though? Because we're all developing and we're all heading somewhere. Yeah.
All right. So my thoughts on this. I find
it's ready.
I find it problematic to try to make blanket rules about dating because we'll give an advice, and somebody did exactly what we just advised them not to do, and they're in a happy relationship right now. There's a lot of, things that people will say doesn't work, and that's why I always come back to authenticity. Because if two real people decide that they want to share time and eventually turn that into sharing more time and then sharing space together, that's really where you need to start. Both of you interested in each other. And if you keep it honest and authentic, most of the times you end up somewhere good. But there are a lot of people who are in happy relationships who did everything wrong, and they are in happy relationships. So I find it, what I would say is this: see who the person is. Don't see who you expect them to be or who you're envisioning them to be. So I think that is where you look at when you say the potential is. You're looking at them now, and them probably now wear the outfit that you would have liked them to wear, or them here probably no look or you'd have liked it to look, but you're not seeing how they're dressed today, which you don't like. You're seeing how them dress after you put on some clothes on them. And then perfectly fine with how them look right now. So it's really not about you. So let us start there. Let us start with being honest with ourselves and with the person that we're interested in, and start there and take it and see what it becomes.
So, Kaysha, I see you bubbling. Go for it.
I think the answer to that question, Kamala, is more so about dating in alignment than dating potential. You have to date in alignment with where you are in your stage and your place in life. There are times that you have all the time in the world to date. I like to tell women you don't have to make dating an urgent situation, but some people want to have love right now more urgently than others. So this whole idea of dating somebody who could become something in the next 5 and 10 years, don't do that. Yes, don't do that. If that's not in alignment with where you are right now. If you yourself just chilling, if you are a work of art, as we all are, work in progress, then you may feel as though you have more time to extract this potential. But always be open to the fact that persons can change, but they will not always change for you, and you have to be okay with that. So that would be my response to the comment.
Yeah.
Amen.
There's another important element to the dating journey, which I think is important for us to unpack as well. When we have some expectations of perfection in a partner, and sometimes people looking on, there's a famous dating or infamous dating expert, or relationship expert who passed away recently. We will not name them specifically on the show. But there were some pieces of advice that were given, especially to women who were looking for love, about the fact that you say you want a high value partner and you're not a high value woman, right? And in as much as the approach and the basis, right? Somebody said the name, please don't. As much as the approach and the basis to be is hugely problematic. Yeah. I think there is a nugget, at least one little tooth of a nugget in that concept for us to be mindful of, because sometimes we're not fair in our expectations. Nothing is wrong with you staying here and say, listen, I earn, a salary. I earn
$500,000 a year.
No, I earn $70,000 a month. Okay. And I'm looking for a man who earns
$500,000 a year.
700,000. I earn 70 and I want a man who earns 70 million. Right. Or vice versa, because some men are looking for the financial level up as well. Nothing is wrong with that. But I think there are some finer elements to unpack as it relates to dating. As it relates to you becoming who you want to be. Because sometimes we have a long list of attributes. The person must be well-read. The person must be fit. The person must be sexy and sexual. The person must be earning a lot. The person must be ambitious. And if we look at our attributes, so 100% line up. And so I think there's a lack of consideration for what somebody who is that, who are those things, will also be looking for in a partner. Yeah. So Diel, any thoughts on that?
Sure. I mean, I hear it every day when I speak to somebody and they say, yeah man, my man, I have to look good. I have to take care of himself. I have to sexy. I have to this, I have to that. And I say, so woman, you work out also? When work out?
She look good naturally though, nothing wrong with that, Diel.
So I say, yeah. So yeah, man, have a sexy.
Man, yeah, look, you see the look. Everybody
Listen.
saw the look.
You're a man after this and you're a man after that. So you, how about you? You, no man, I can't get my body anytime.
But there's an urgency for the man to come with it.
Right. So I said, so well, if I have my big belly, I said, no, so I don't want a big belly, man. I said, but your belly
Big.
hold on, I understand something. So why, if your belly big, why my belly kind of big? If you want to make this, why you want me make this?
10 times that.
10 times that. I mean, I'm an old school guy, so me really, this is my personal thing. Me thinks that, when you have a good woman, you take care of the woman. That is what I think. In my future life, when I get married, I want to give my wife option to stay home if she wants. Stay home if she wants to. That's how I am, right? So that's how I live my life, and that's how I intend to live my life. But right, so I believe in those values, those old school values, right, where a man really must do certain things and take care of certain things. However, you can't come to me at a certain place. Me and you will just leave, and this is what happens a lot to young people now. Me just graduate college and you just graduate college, right? So I make the same money basically. I make maybe 150, 130, whatever, 170. You're lucky 200. Me, I make the same thing or less. And you want me now. So this is going back a little bit to financial now. It's fair to do everything because I'm the man, so I must do this and that. I make the same money. Unfair. Same thing about you wanting somebody well-read. You never read a book when you leave high school. And that's just because you have to pass and CXC them. Unfair. You want somebody who is emotionally intelligent and was, who can cater to your needs and so on and so forth and knows what to say. When as soon as him do something, you lash out at him. You're not emotionally intelligent. Unfair again. Right? So I think a lot of the things that we're saying here goes back to us. And we made a point before doing self-work. Self-work. Me as a man, me want a woman with nice and clean too. Yeah, because, and this is a very big point here, in my experience, you really attract whatever you put on. Right? So you'll attract other things too, right? But, in a lot of the cases, you won't even have to try too hard because if you go about living your life in a certain way, somebody will see that it's like kind of herd. People herd together. So you're not gonna really say too tough throughout the years and you say, we are hang out with one little man where I rub out him hand and so because that's just not the vibe. Right? So you be yourself and it will come to you most of the time. That's what I find. Right? So you have to have your things set first. A lot of people, I don't want to say women, but I speak to a lot of women. A lot of women, they just I want this. A lot of time they say, I deserve this. And I say, why do you deserve it? Why do you deserve it? Why do you deserve it? Do I deserve it? I don't think I deserve it. I don't know if I deserve it, but I want to explore why you deserve to have this beautiful life. Why? Are you investing in yourself? Are you kind? Are you loving? Do you have the qualities to raise a family? Do you have the qualities to raise our home?
So, Diel, are you saying that you think on some level there's an element of entitlement?
Every woman, I joke. Most, a lot of women, very and extremely entitled. Too entitled. Yeah, man, everybody deserves this. And we don't want the best. No, men deserve good things if they are good. We deserve good if we exhibit good. You deserve to give and reciprocate. That is what it is. So you have enough women that give a lot of good and they get back garbage. That's not fair either, but it happens. I mean,
Then I'm going to introduce you to some new woman before the week done. I really would like you to experience some other kind of women. I think the women that you have experienced have left a bitter taste in your mouth, and I want to open your eyes to the fact that other flavors
of ice cream exists. Shelly,
of women
Shelly,
exist.
are you saying that in your experience you don't find women, a high percentage of women to be very entitled?
No.
But yeah,
Okay.
but I want to jump in here. In my
Okay.
coaching, I like to tell women, act entitled. So I'm gonna drop that in your act. So with two things. Women want men who look this way and etc., because too many women are seeking validation through relationships. So instead of doing the necessary self-work, if I have this man on my arm that looks this way, it validates them. So that's really the challenge. But I think women should act entitled to love. I think women should act like they deserve it. They're entitled because they show up differently.
Okay.
I do, and I tell them all the time, that's the last prong of my framework. You're worthy, you're valuable, you deserve it, and you're entitled. So show up like that.
So Kaysha,
Yes, please.
I'm seeing a familiar name in the comments. Raymond Leveridge says, brother, you're correct. The audience will bear in mind. Our esteemed and vividly colored guest, Kaysha, her surname is Franklin
Leveridge.
Hyphen
Ask him what to
Leveridge.
read. Because let him know he got a high quality rubber. Drop it in the chat, Raymond.
Drop it in the chat, Mr. Raymond. What I will say is this.
Talk to me, Shelly.
I will never try to negate your experience in any way because your truth is your truth.
Yeah.
But I also know that we can't just lay all of this at the feet of the individuals who are trying to maneuver themselves in a society that has taught us some ridiculous things, and we are still trying to adjust in that culture. We live in a culture that don't like women. I never stutter when I say it, I'm going to say it again. We live in a culture that don't
The
like
views expressed
women.
on Life Class are not necessarily those.
We teach boys that girls are something that they should aspire to own. In 2022, when a man is talking about when he gets rich, all the things he's going to get, him say, I get a big house, a fast car, and a sexy girl. Because she is right there alongside the house and the car. And all of what you just said a while ago, I know it's your experience, but understand this also, that we have to function in a space where no matter how bright we are, no matter what we achieve, no matter how great we become, we are still going to be judged by, so when you get married.
Oh, yes.
So a lot of, and then when you do find a man who pick you, now you need to have some children. Then you have one child, when you with one and can't clap. So we have to also recognize that we are doing all of these things in a specific environment, and the environment makes a difference, because what you find is some persons are trying to fit into the expectations of people who are not even in the relationship with them. You know how many sons got married because they're tired of them mad amount? You know how many women right now are stuck in a relationship with somebody because, well, to get the promotion at work, she needed to show up married, because if she's married, it shows something. It means something to the people who she worked for. So we have to recognize that until we address some of these ridiculous things that we have imposed upon ourselves in our culture, then we'll continue to have this sort of song and dance.
Silence in the church. Let the church say
amen.
Some people say amen. So I agree with Shelly though, because I think what Diel is putting his finger on is the result of a lot of women pushing back against what is kind of prescribed for them. Like, why you think you deserve a whole amount too? Yeah. Or why you think that you're supposed to have X, Y, Z. So I feel like there's been a shift where a lot of women are pushing back and saying, I'm high quality. It's almost like a re-owning of our value. Reclaiming of our value, because a lot of things are telling us otherwise. And a lot of the experiences that we've had romantically, unfortunately, also make us feel like, so hold on, somebody never deserve it. One monogamy, even though that we agreed to, I never deserve it. So I feel like on the one hand, there is entitlement in some spaces, but I think in the bigger picture, it's women really trying to say, I'm valuable. I'm valuable. And don't step to me unless you're prepared to honor my value. Now, the ways in which we do it, somebody felt that in the spirit, right? The The ways in which we do it, though, Diel, can be hugely problematic. And sometimes we're in a fairy tale land.
Yes.
Even with how we communicate. That true?
That is
Or
a fact.
true or through?
Yes.
True. True. Very true. So there is a way that we can be, I said it before, condescending.
Yes.
Like if somebody is not for you, it don't have to be a big done them and write off their value.
No, thank you.
And you're careless and you're drunk. It doesn't have to be that. It could just be that, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
Like this doesn't fit. It's not aligned, as Kaysha said earlier. So I think all of us today can take some level of lessons like, listen, I don't like sardines. And to some people, sardine is like the superfood of champions. Them can't have a breakfast without sardine. But for me, I don't like it. It doesn't mean sardine is trash. It just means I don't like it. It's not for me. So I think there is a way that we can do it better though. But I think even the kings need to start to say, I deserve good things too. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think it's important for on an individual basis for us to own our value.
Yes.
Yeah, just generally across the board.
And with the same what was his name? Kevin, the same guy you guys were talking about earlier. We're not calling his name. I was pulling your legs, Kamala, pulling your legs, darling.
You shall remain unnamed.
Brevin or something. But so there was something erroneous in what he was doing, right? This particular thing that I want to highlight. So a lot of women are feeding into that or have fed into it, and a lot of men are fed into it. Where high value is just determines the sole thing that determines high value is just how much money you make. So it's not whether or not you're loving and kind, it's not whether or not you're responsible, it's not whether or not you're a man of
important. You need to be.
It comes back to Shelly's point about the context that we're existing in.
And that's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
Because this is also a very honest thing. And that was excellent. That what you just said is true. They will only get pressure from married. I'm one day in a church. I just saw it go. Once you go, all of us grew up in church and so on. So we understand that's just what it is. When you go your deep, and then what? Me see on the boy, you're not married, you're not. Oh gosh, me reach 30, I'm really married. Yeah, and there's this pressure, and then a man come now and send us 100 bucks, sure. Boom, you married him, unhappy. But back to what? The erroneous teaching there that I just want to kind of debunk, where the only definition for a high value man, so me could have treated like crap. I don't have to be a man of my word. I don't have to do anything else but just have money.
Yep.
Right? And that is a very, very.
That's not unique to him, by the way. He didn't invent that.
True. But he I mean, a lot of
invent
people were watching it, and so I just wanted to talk about that.
No, that's going on right now. Outside of, and I don't even want to give him so much credit, that's not. But we have spoken to women and say things like, she said, no, I'm not interested, but you have money. Yeah. So now she's supposed to say, okay, we never think about that. Right.
That's just terrible. So who you take your time and you build up your little self, your little finances, and so 100 on the money part yet, you're working, but you're a good man and you're solid and you're respectful. And I keep on using words like loving, respectful, and kind because I think those are really the core of who a good person is. Right?
And healthy relationship.
Right. And also the core. Thank you for the little mic. I'm hearing myself much better now. Thank you, sir. Right. And also the core of healthy relationship. You see that loving thing. You see finding a person that is kind. You see finding a person that is thoughtful. Them know say a period that come and them know say a little extra grumpy and just bring a little food and so them things they carry you further. Them they will carry you to the system.
Underline products in your car.
Yeah, them little things that
points you bingo.
Them little things are more important. You have a woman where she think boy and she say, so the boy, so and she called and say, you remember do this, remember that? When I go to the interview today, remember if you think that normally pull up your socks and say 100. You see them little something there?
Yep.
Yeah. Kindness, thoughtfulness, being caring, them things are money. We need it. All the way, we work hard for money, right? We need it. But I just believe that there are values that we push down. Yeah. And those are the values that really need to be exalted. Right. Over the whole money thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Look at that deal for that. Come and like it. right now is a pivotal moment for an audience question and then an audience giveaway.
No, but hold on.
So,
hey. I hope you're ready, because she's still on that chair.
Your man, she felt it. She felt everything you said tonight, right?
Grace itself.
So grace us with your presence. Tell us your name and let us know what you want to share.
Good night, everyone. My name is Kaysha Shakespeare. Yes, that's right. What I wanted to ask in regards to the comment that you had made. No, oftentimes women are thoughtful, kind, and these things, but I don't really see where we get to reciprocate it from the men. So why is it always that we always have to be kind, loving, sweet, and good things there, and we can't get it back? It's like I feel like making me one of myself. And I was in a relationship once where I noticed I was doing those things, but that's naturally who I am at core. But something stopped me to realize, are you getting that back? And when I noticed that, that's when I stopped. And for the period of time, if you're not cause and say something, it's like the brain don't connect for say, do something. So essentially, as we were all talking about valuing ourselves, realized my worth and walked away. You know, because one thing I've been learning during this dating and everything, that my thing is I want somebody to show me the human being behind the gender, who you are as a man. I'm not looking for you to buy me a house and a car. I want to see who you are as a man. Because if you show me that, I'm not asking, you're going to see who I am as a woman. So from I'm talking to guys, they're not showing me that. Okay, you got to go, bro. And that. So I'm just asking is that, why is it we always have to be doing all of that? You know, we give in and we showing our whatever, what it take to realize, me to call it, say the quality versus the quantity. A lot of the times y'all be seeing the quantity, the big butt, you know,
the numbers.
Where the group name, BB, some another what they say, big butts poison. Yes, that girl's a poison. Y'all ain't be seeing that. So regular chicks like me, and some of we in the audience.
You're not regular.
Yeah, and I say, I'm true, but just say, some dudes not cross the waters. I look at them, but they say the curvy one, them put on or something on, that's what I see. And therefore, no want the kindness, no want this, but as we've been talking, sometimes certain tastes, it's not necessarily always good. Yeah, just to say.
Okay, you said what she said. Kaysha, I see a finger went up over your side, so I'm going to allow you to respond to Michaela. Thank you. Can you clap? Did you clap her?
Yes. I want to ask you a question, but I'm going to balance it because I want to say the wrong thing. Have you ever required it of a man? And I'm going to tell you what I mean before you jump on me. A lot of times women overestimate what men understand, what they should understand by what we do, what we say, what we don't say. We try for men to unravel our own mind when we haven't even unraveled it ourselves. So women are often fail in communication. Now, it's one thing to express what you want and it's not honored, but it's another thing not even to be able to clearly articulate the thing that you require and desire. And some women like to run too fast. No, nobody don't say Kaysha saying something that's not working, but sometimes women like to run too fast. Have you ever sat down and said to him, can I have a, so let me give you the framework. May I have a conversation with you, please? He can say yes. If you say no, that's a red flag. And then you start to say, you know, I want to share something that's important to me. Are you open to hearing? He's going to say yes, or that's another red flag. This is important to me. Is that something that you feel that you can step up to play? We run too fast as women without allowing men to have the opportunity to step in. Now, if you give a man the opportunity to step in and he doesn't, that's another thing completely. Oh, he don't do this to me. Does he know? Does he understand? You run and tell your 10,000 friends, 10,000 friends who don't have no man, because you never run into a married person or any person in a relationship. Oh, he don't make no sense walkway. And you left a potentially good man because you did not know how to communicate. So we got to understand that as well.
For me personally, because of what I'm learning in school, social work, so we have to develop a therapy sessions and all these things. I believe in using what I'm being taught as my own self-care. So one thing for sure, is that person who most get blindsided. I try my best to communicate as clear as possible, because that's the home I was brought up. I don't argue. My parents didn't argue and stuff like that. My mom and I, if we have a disagreement, we have to wait till she calm down, and I'm like, Mom, you were wrong, and she would apologize. And if I see where I was wrong, I would have to apologize. So that's the home girl I was raised. Right. So if I'm talking to somebody and I'm noticing something, I'm talking to you 2, 3, 4 times, but it's about the 4th time I go off. You understand? But I really and truly, as you said, because oftentimes women believe men know it already, and sometimes I believe give too much credit and don't know. Yes. So I personally sit and talk with you and explain what it is I'm feeling. And if I'm still not seeing reciprocating, I can't say that.
No, kudos to you for that. Yes, you're not actually self-sacrificial loving. Yes.
And by the way, I don't know if I agree that women run too quick. I don't think we run quick enough. Don't
take it as a broad base. No.
And we put up with some things, and we didn't know from first that the man too cheesy. And we try with him, we give him a baking soda, and we try to clean him shoes for him, and still have the cheesy toe, and it bothers us, and we still try to work with it. So in my opinion, I think some of us wait too long. Because you remember the line? He's gonna change for me. I'm gonna change. And I'm going to make him change. So you don't take that on if you plan to run. Just say.
No clarification though, Shelly. It's sometimes, not all the time. Let me put that for the record, because I don't want you to feel these things. No, because sometimes you gotta run fast too. So it's all about being clear about what the situation is being presented to you really is. Yeah. So let me just make that clear.
So we love the audience engagement. They're feeling every word. And they're talking their truths, right?
Yes.
And I want to give something back to our audience. I want to invite the virtual members of the JN Life Class family to respond to this question. And if you get the correct answer, as determined by one of our team judges, not by Kamala, don't come for me, right? Then you get for yourself an Amazon card. An Amazon gift card, courtesy of the very generous JN family.
Can I throw in something with the gift?
We have 3 more.
Oh,
so let me do. So let me make
so one money can't win so much. Share the wealth.
Fret not thyself, right?
Share the wealth.
So we have one coming up, a gift coming up from Shelly. I'm going to hold her accountable.
Yes, man, the gift there.
Yes. So for a member of the virtual, so they can't enter the virtual audience, if you can drop in the chat one of the topics that are to come in the life class series, then you win for yourself. If Celia and Whitney and the team say so it go, then you win for yourself an Amazon gift card. All right. So whoever correctly, and the first person to correctly drop one of the topics for any other episode in our life class series will win for themselves an Amazon gift card courtesy of our beautiful JN family. Charmaine Clark's online dating. We don't know if something goes so. Celia and Whitney, I don't think so. So Charmaine, go Google, check your email, come back again. And while you're doing that, we're going to continue with our an audience line of yourself, because Shelly has an in-person gift.
Yes.
And it's physically in the room.
Yes, right around there, so.
Yes.
A copy of my book.
Ooh, we like that, right? And Kaysha has something that she wants to share later. One of her programs, she'll tell us about it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. All right. So now, Diel, a little birdie told me that when you agreed to join us on this conversation this evening, unbeknownst to us, you were a very, let's just say, viable case study as it relates to online dating and how it can work well. You want to tell us a little bit about that? Because I want us to start talking about the actual hows now of how we can manage the online dating space and dating in general.
Absolutely.
She brings up the note app.
Okay, sure. So you guys are going to get ready to put your hands together for me and say congratulations. So I had my first child, son, who was born on Father's Day. Thank you. So he's 3 days old now. So after this, I have to go home and make sure he's okay. His name is Amaris. It means blessing from God. It's a Bible name. Amaris Zamir Thomas. That's his name. Zamir African means songbird.
Makes sense, right?
Maybe not putting any pressure on him now. And I met his mother on Instagram. Online dating works.
It works.
It does work.
You replied to a story.
And here we are.
And
Here
there's
we
a
are
baby.
Here we are today. So that's why, you know, let's say online dating is
So how did that work? The eggplant got with the peach. And
You don't have to answer that.
yeah. But beautiful things can, if I could show you my son now, he's such a beautiful thing. Beautiful things can come out of online dating. I want to say I'm a very big supporter of it and what can come out of it, you know. I know there may be blockages as Kamala would have mentioned before, and persons who have had bad experiences. But you know, we have bad experiences and a lot of things that doesn't stop us from moving forward. You know, we have bad experiences at work. Are you gonna stop going to work? Nope. You have bad experiences in the supermarket, you know, somebody did something, you have bad experiences on the bus. Not hearing? All right, this thing I was talking about. Now, bad experiences on the bus, somebody aren't green, somebody's up on your toe, you still you still take the bus every day, right? So give it a chance, you know, beautiful, beautiful, life-altering, life-making, you know, can come from, the online dating space.
I love it. So Diel, you tell us a lot, but we still want you to look more at your business, right?
Right.
So you had said that somebody responded to somebody's story on the Instagram streets. And what happened right after that? So you open your phone and you say, somebody says so. And
I want to know what them say and what was the response. You want like you don't want to know the details.
Liability issue.
What did they say and what was the response?
Yes.
And remember you did the disclaimer already.
How long was the response? Let's give us a little
The
overview.
response time was fast.
On your end.
On both ends. Yeah. When somebody's interested in you, they don't take 2 years to respond to you.
Drop the gem.
That's a do. So right now, that's our first do. Right? That's a fact. They don't take 2 years to respond.
Yeah, when you see them seeing you and then not take them respond 2 days later, that's not gonna work. But for me at least.
So then now, for how long was it like mostly virtual before you all linked up like
about 3 weeks.
3 weeks. So don't take too long, would you say, or you have to time it right?
It all depends on everybody's situation is different. I would have to say that. So I can't give a set thing. All right, 3 weeks, then Devon knows. I actually never took her to Devon knows. I took her to Saffron Indian cuisine.
15 grand. That's your estimate, you know.
First
right?
of all, you need to apologize for the wrong advice.
No, hold on. All right. No.
Because that is not an $800 venue.
We know this.
But hold on now. But you're not gonna take every woman to Saffron. Yeah. All right. Depending on I guess what would it be? It must be the value that attributed to her. It must have been, if I'm gonna try to just be very transparent. I just probably never wanted to take it to anyone else. Based on the conversations that we were having. Based on the but you know, if it is that you're not seeing it yet, then you have to go to everyone else. If you're not clear, if it's hazy, if the fog's still there in the tarmac, as my dear friend here said, you have to go to everyone else before you can land. But if you see the runway now, you can take them go eat some nice Indian food. Etc. Yeah. I cannot. But then saffron not too that expensive, like, so for example, fromage. You still have to watch it. You have to know the place them and the price them. So you can go saffron and spend 8-9 grand, and you know, I'll get food to take home with you. So you know, it's worth it. But
do you know a challenge that I do, and I encourage everybody to try this challenge? If you're currently in a relationship, it's a really fun challenge. Go on a 5 bills date.
5 bills.
You only have 5 bills. Now go. No. Total.
The day.
You have 5 bills
excluding
for
gas.
the day. No, well, yeah, you probably need 3, excluding the transportation. So the gas alone, I take away 5 bills. So I don't think you can even go anywhere with 5 bills based on the gas prices these days. But go on a 5 bills date.
Sparks creativity.
See how creative you can be, just for my own entertainment. And feel free to send the feedback. Send the information to Celia, and I'd love to know what are the results of that little experiment.
Post-class research. So
yes.
you were saying that there's a but. So you were saying see the value before.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything in life we give attention to what it is that we view to be valuable. So I guess I just thought that was the case.
I love it. So the topic tonight is based on the very popular Tinder Swindler story. And everybody in the audience watch it, by the way? And who has not, please watch it.
Yes.
Right? You don't want to watch it? You will. Yeah, so pretty much the swindler, the swindler, I would say, manipulated the emotional vulnerabilities of his, let's call them victims, because like it was straight up fraud, right? Yes. So I want to talk about that piece of how you balance building meaningful connection, but also keeping safe in the online streets, because that's what makes the show so sensational. The fact that like he swindled women out of like 2 million plus.
Yes. 10 million.
10 million plus, and it's not Jamaican dollars, right? So there were elements of sharing personal information early on, passport details and so on. There were elements of him asking for money kind of early on. There were elements of him falling heavy for them, like, oh my God, you're the one I've been looking for forever, etc. So I kind of want to hear from the esteemed panelists this evening. What do you think are some of the red flags to look out for in order to date safely? Because I think that's the whole point. Date in a helpful way, an aligned way, and also in a safe way.
To be fair though, that guy was very good. As in he would have showed them a certain lifestyle first. So it's not like, you know, some of you will watch it and say them fool and so on, but who could I get fooled? Right? So he was just, I guess, advanced in terms of, you know,
practice.
It's manipulative. Yeah.
But extremely good at it.
Yeah,
so,
it's just like you just have to remember that it's a risk. And you have to decide how big of a risk you're willing to take. And if you realize that this risk is bigger than something that you're willing to take. And when I say the word afford, I'm not talking about money, just in terms of, you know, what the person is asking of you. Maybe they want you to do something that you're not comfortable with. So you really have to just approach it like that and say, okay, so this is my line. This is where I will not go. And just approach it the same way you approach dating in person. You might meet someone and you gel and everything is nice, and they do something that absolutely turn you off. That thing is your line. So it's the same thing. I was in a long distance relationship for a better part of 4 years, and we spent a lot of time online, and you know, we were very, very close. We had epic conversations and all of that. And one time, homeboy said to me, say, "He needs space." No, me, I want completely in the country. So I realized, so well, he can't come forth and say, well, he want to break up. So he must say, he needs space. So I help him out. This time I go, so they say, oh, all right, look like you don't want to do this anymore. So you really have to approach it from a point of, this is a risk. It will work. It also will not work. And this is how far I'm willing to go. And if I see myself getting to the point where I'm no longer comfortable, or getting to the point where the person is asking more of me than I'm willing to give, then I might not be able to participate any further. And you probably need to declare that, you know? But I think that is how you should just approach it, that there are elements here that you're not totally in control of.
That's it.
I think too, Kamala, that women need to start to learn how to flex their intuition muscle.
Oh, yes.
There's something inside us that always knows, always. When I was talking to whoever I would talk to, there was a specific sensation that I would have when I knew that was it. And oftentimes I pushed past it. So even that first woman, she was sending money rapidly, like rapid fire. Like there was no pausing. There was no stepping back for the objective third person of herself to say, look here. This not 100. No, Diel made a very excellent point. He made a really good point of showing that he had money. So she really wasn't that stupid. But somewhere between taking the 8th loan, why am I the only person that? Why am the only? And it's a loan. No, because she took 9 loans. She said it. She took 9 loans up to the sum of $250,000. Somewhere along you can say, but wait a minute, you're from a millionaire family, you're from a this. The math's not mathing, so something has to add up. So women have to flex an intuitive muscle and not approach dating from a desperate place. Where you're so desperate, anything, it don't matter what red flag you see. Oh, no, this is the Jesus Christ syndrome we're talking about, Kamala.
Yes.
No, I gotta fix it. Remember, when I heard that, I said, my God, she said, I'm gonna save him. Just like that. What you saving? Who, what, no.
You should have saved our money.
You should have saved our money.
Yes, so like that.
Okay, sure. I saw this meme that says, so sis, did you see the red flags? And the woman responded, I thought it was a carnival.
Oh, no, it's true.
And we do it.
Well, there you go.
Shelly said, save your money, right?
Save your money.
So I want to kind of run down a list of a couple of things, and I want to get the audience's feedback as to
yes.
whether or not this is, if you think it's okay, the space, right? Or how you manage it. So suppose the person asks a lot of questions of you, but they don't reveal a lot. So it's always like, tell me your dreams, Shelly. Like, what fulfills you? What kind of partner you're looking for? Or Shelly, tell me about so and so. What's your family like? But they are more, let's say, reserved. Or completely shut down, actually, right? Do you think that's a red flag?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Let me tell you why not necessarily. Let me tell you why not necessarily. We get information in different ways. I'm not a question asker, but I'll engage you and hear what you say. Like we'll be talking about a scenario, which is why I'm saying, oh boy, I say need space. So me live at Jamaica, and you there London. How much more space you need?
In London, for example.
So
What do you mean London?
No, really London. London, England.
London, England, to be more
London,
specific.
England.
Not little London, right?
No. Completely different time zone. And sometimes one person is more talkative than the other person. So I don't think that on its own, with some context maybe, but just to say, because one person asks more questions than the other is a red flag. I think there needs to be a little bit more with that, because it depends on how you communicate.
So it wasn't so much asking more questions, it's that the person is tapping you for information.
But they're not giving you any. All right, well, that's a red flag then.
Red flag. All right, Diel, what do you think? Is there any context that you think that's kind of starts okay? Or you would say to those who are watching, beware of that kind of a pattern?
I think I am kind of like that. I wouldn't probably give out a lot of well, not information, but just more of myself really. I wouldn't require it though. Asking, it probably is a red flag. It sounds like a red flag. I haven't processed it very much, but sounds like it could be. I'm trying to figure out why would you not give information.
And there's several reasons I can think of. I think some people hold back because they don't feel comfortable enough yet to divulge.
That's one.
Sometimes we have control issues. We want to know everything about this landscape so I can know how to navigate it. I can decide if this works for me.
Okay.
But we're not giving as much because it hasn't been our pattern.
Right.
And we also want the other person.
So then,
subconsciously.
it wouldn't be a red flag then in that case. You think that would be
right? Kaysha, what are your thoughts?
It's a red flag for me, straight. A straight red flag. As I said, dating gives you data. So if you can't give me the data, what is this?
That's the point.
Yeah, you understand? What is this? And I actually know someone who speaks a lot about that. Like the date always requiring her to be the person to move the date, have the conversation, extractions. No, you ask someone as well. It's a communication exchange.
It feels like it's a one-sided relationship. That way, when it's one person always have to do all the heavy lifting. That, my dear, is a red flag.
Yes, red flag.
Shauna says in that instance, she would answer the question and then return a question. So Shauna is very intentional, right? Shauna will say, I grew up in Little London, Westmoreland. And then where did you grow up? Tell me a little bit about that. Right?
Yes.
So that's a way to hold people accountable to say, before we do it, and not just me.
Reciprocity.
And then there is a particular tactic I've heard some men name that men do. So I know we are throw things from them. Them say sometimes what men do is then we meet a woman and then we ask her, like, what kind of man are you looking for? Like, what are your fantasies, your dreams, etc. Like, what's your ideal, whatever. And then they become that. They fake it in order to get us into a particular space that they want us to get us in. So that's why I'm big on what we call it, the reciprocity, right?
No, man, but that's easy to fix. Just give them an impossible man.
Hashtag Shelly-Ann said it. All right. Now, another thing that the dating experts say that is a red flag is when people fall hard for you early on. And I know some people might be thinking, Kaysha, but that's the goal. We want to have them in, they can't even concentrate.
No.
After 3 conversations with me, right?
No.
And the person is saying things like, I've never met anyone like you. You are the most amazingest, whatever superlatives I've ever come across. Isn't that good, Kaysha?
No.
Okay.
No.
And that's not at the beginning of an episode of PSI.
Yes, no. Let me tell you something. You see, Lifetime, I used to love to watch Lifetime as a child. I watched 4 people Lifetime. And Lifetime never showed.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
No.
So loud enough.
But no, it put me on guard for this. Lifetime never show a picture where a woman wasn't mad or a man wasn't mad.
Listen.
You understand? And I actually had someone who was interested in me very, very early in me dating. We spent the whole day together. You want to come home and spend the whole, no, what? I don't want you to love me so much.
Yeah.
The same Rayma Leveridge I
no.
don't you have to have time for yourself. Yes, no, I am married. And we have alone time, we have together time, we have children time. I don't want nobody on me all the time. He don't want nobody on him all the time. Any man that wants to be on you all the time, run fast.
Run far.
It is not good. No, and I just want to say Maya Angelou talks about it. I think she talks like jealousy is like salt. It's jealousy, but it's the same thing with attention. A little bit, it says a little can kill you. The point is, too much of what seems to be a good thing is actually not a good thing. Too much of what seems to be, no, run.
Danger.
Run.
And I mean, even in some like therapy and coaching spaces, we talk about love bombing.
Yes.
Which is where somebody literally does a bomb you with just, oh my God, I
the
can't
word
live
bomb.
without you. You know, you are my everything. I just met you. I just found out your last name in our last conversation.
There is a
Red flag.
movie. There is a movie, and we'll probably know the movie. In the movie, the man was abusive to the wife, and she made a statement that it hinted that one day she will leave, and he looked upon her and said, "I'd love you to death."
Wow. Okay.
I understand.
You need to give her a prize. You got to give her a prize.
Okay, look here. You know, the moment that telling the man say, "I love you to death," and that stayed with me, you know, because a lot of relationships are on that space where don't even, if I cannot have you, no one will.
Yes.
Me no want nobody want me like, no, I need to be able to move on from you. I know amazing. I know you'll never find out me. That's fine. You'll live.
Perhaps.
In an ideal setting. No, more core to the Tinder Swindler experience now. How do we feel about any kind of money exchange, money borrowing and money lending in the dating space? Not after we start talk official, nor after we're there, but like we're dating. Diel,
no borrowing. No
borrowing.
Not dating. No, none of that. Just why not? Because I just do, this is my opinion. But borrowing is not a. You borrow from your mother, you borrow from your uncle, you can borrow from your cousin, you can borrow from your friend. But don't. It's because I've experienced it and it's just so distasteful. You go on a date with somebody and then the next week them shut up on their rent and they want to borrow. A lot of hold on. Me alone explain. No man. That about yes man. You go. I remember I went.
Introduce him to somebody.
I remember.
Well, he just found his water.
Yes, but you can still meet the friends with some of the other kind of.
I remember the first time I went out with this young lady and on the date itself. First time I met her, she started to talk about
It's odd.
Money for the Shelly.
And meaning
and she not really asking, she just have to talk about it.
She just have to talk about it, Shelly. And Shelly, you're not all right. So Shelly, hear the thing now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to talk down to anybody dressing and so on. She dress up nice. I look like you,
man.
you know.
Yeah, man, she's cute, man. No, but hold
put
on.
together well and so.
But let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Understand this. All the men in the room, including the gentlemen behind the scenes, when women broke are the best of them. We dress up extra nice when we're broke. Myself included. If you ever see me out the road in a ball gown, give me a change, me rock. Rock and bouncy. That is you trying to lift your spirits because you know you have no money. Say, I'll put on one for outfit where you know you have no business that way to work, but you're in that kind of mood today, bro.
Somebody said when you're feeling down, you must dress up. But
there you go. You can't rock and pop down.
The point
I love the scenario. So you said she lean over like she said, like,
I said, boy, you know, some short. I said, why would I talk about you being child parent? Man, I try to get to know you. No, the borrowing and them thing is that no kind of, because borrowing is bondage to, you know, it's well, that's how I view it, psychological bondage, especially if it's from somebody that you don't have in your corner. That's why you borrow from your mother, you borrow from other people. Don't just meet me and say you want to borrow money. Man, them know, about the mama man thing, you meet a girl and you realize that she have a little nice car and stuff. You know, may have some brethren do, them do that. And them do that.
borrow money.
Them kind of, them we borrow, them no shame. Them we just say, you know, so we need a $5 grand OST.
Yeah, man. We know them, man.
You do it. Yeah, what?
No, but let me tell you, there's a balance to that part, right? You hear all you talk about home girl and a rent or whatever. Many years ago, when I was young and careless, I used to date people. This gentleman used to come to my house like every week and so. And I love anybody who know me love to cook. Me, you ever reach a my yard, never cook for you. It's that thing. Because people yard go cook for them. And not that thing. I love to cook. So yeah, we'll talk after. So one day he's over my house and you know I was upstairs. I'm hearing downstairs in my fridge. I'm hearing me mumble something about food but you know so I get paid next week and I plan to go to the supermarket. So I never pay no man. Anyway. He came back after I went to the supermarket and saw that the fridge had been food now. Turned around and looked at me and said, why I never asked him for money to buy groceries to put in my fridge. I took a deep breath and I asked him if he don't know any woman who have a job. Because he went on to say how obviously me have a man with him because every time he see me ear do, and my nails always do. And oh come, Mr. So you don't know any woman who employed. You don't know any woman who know if you do her own ear and her own nails. Sir, you know what you need to do? Get out of my house and I pay my own rent too. Because his issue is I didn't ask him for it, therefore I must be getting it somewhere. Forget the fact that me actually have a job. I earn an income. So you might say how you handle money is one thing, but you have some men who feel like if you don't ask them for money, it somehow indicates that you are getting it from somewhere else, which means that that's a problem in the dating scenario that we're doing right now.
So Raymond said run from them type of money.
No, I did. Me running and then me just don't even bother talk to him again after that. I don't even remember my name.
And Kevin said a good thing you make it, Shelly. I control them, I try control.
Obviously, I agree. Thank you, no. I agree.
Clarity has come, right? So what I'm hearing from the tribe, from the JN family is that the borrow situation is a red flag. Are we in agreement?
Yes.
Yes. And I agree. I think it's a red flag because you said something before, but you said it's psychological bondage. And I think in that early stage, you don't really want nobody have nothing quote unquote over you. You want it to be as a level of playing field in 9-9 as possible.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's a power dynamic that can come when money comes into the framework too early on. Right. Of course, you know, when things establish, are we together? Then of course sharing resources and having each other's back to me is fair. But when you just have up on the second date, or your rent coming in on the to me that's a little unhealthy. Just a smidgen, right? All right. Final thing to reflect on as it relates to the red flags for the dating space, right? What about when the person, so Diel met his current partner 3 weeks, met up with the current person 3 weeks after starting the DM conversation, the story conversation. What if you're asking the person to meet up with you and they're getting that kind of resistance, right? But they really want to keep talking. They really want to keep talking to you. That's a big red flag. You know what I'm just saying? In fact, sometimes there are some men who will tell you that they prefer a certain mode of communication. I like text. That's also a red flag. Because
You think so? What's supposed to just really like texting?
No.
As opposed to what? What?
No,
As opposed to what?
No, hold on, Shelly. Hold on. Okay, so
As opposed, yeah. Let me get the context.
All right. So there are some people who prefer texting to a phone call because of anxiety, social anxieties, etc. But I think as a relationship, even a dating space progresses, there is a need for more intimacy. I mean, not necessarily physical, but just to sit like how you eat. You understand? Like what your place look like.
Yeah, but I think
So I was watching. Somebody sent me a video of an episode of 90 Day Fiancé. Anybody see the one with the Sugar Daddy and sister?
No.
Okay, check it out if you want a little stress in your life. So what had happened was, good sir was wealthy, but he was trying to test her to see if it is that she was wanting him for him and not for his money.
Okay.
So whenever they would FaceTime or Skype or whatever, he would do it always from the same wall in his apartment because he didn't want her to see his wealth. Now explain to me, Kaysha, Franklin, Leveridge, how they end up engaged. Then end up engaged. Because isn't that a red flag in your mind that why is he always insistent to sit at the same white wall every time we're FaceTiming and we're Skyping? So Diel, I know of an instance where somebody was in a talking space online virtually, and the person said, I don't like texting. And then the sister would do a research and kind of just have a newborn baby. Wow. So of course the baby into the house and have a body bananas. So that's why I said keep it in this thing. So to me, there are some preferences which are understandable, but I think to sustain the dating and even the relationship moving forward, text alone cannot be that. And Shauna said our only voice note, #red flag, right?
And Kamala,
No, but what I was going to say is that it's an age group thing though.
I will soon come to the age group.
Yes, it's a great age group thing. That texting thing, young people are completely fine texting. When I say young, I mean people in their 20s and less are perfectly fine, fully having conversations texting. Older folks like ourselves. We want to talk to somebody. So I think the age group is
generational differences.
Yes.
Yeah. We talk about the same wall, but even greater red flag, they can't ever see them face on their airline pilots, so they can only message a certain time. Airline pilots? No, I had a client, she did one of my programs, a very, very attractive, beautiful lady who was catnipped. And I was just like, catfish. That's what it's called, catfish?
Catfish.
Oh, catfish.
Yes.
I mean, I'm like, you're in a relationship, but you can't talk to him on the phone. He can't FaceTime me. So at least he was showing his one wall. She never see him. She never see him. I don't know. So that is also greater red flag. You got to see a person's face, watch the mouth moving and make sure that the mouth matching the words that coming out. You gotta get very, very, very deliberate. No, Kamala.
So on this note though, we want to talk about the final element that many women and many men are concerned about, but more women than men to be honest, which is vetting a partner. Suppose he's a psycho. So I've heard some women actually say, good sis, I'm gonna do that background check. I will pay my money and pay somebody to check him out. What are your views on that, Diel? Do you think that's too extreme for a woman to do in order to get a better sense of who she's, going on a dating journey with?
I mean, it's the reality where it's unsafe, no? I could be a psycho, you meet me, and we go out after 3 weeks, and you're in my car, and it's something that's not good. So if you feel the need to do it, I think you should. That's the thing. Work with your intuition, If you don't feel the need to, then don't. If you think you can trust the person in the place and what they're presented to you, then you can do that. But if you feel but then again, this is my view, if you feel the need to do a background check on somebody, then
no, I disagree.
Disagree?
My good friend said dating is collecting data.
Okay.
There are some very charming serial killers out there. Some very charming people who are listed as sexual offenders out there. and you will not know because they're not going to volunteer that information. And you don't
Fair
even have to look too far. Just go on them profile and you see all the women that they married to the children and have all the things. Don't do name wrong. Let me tell you. So you don't have to dig too deep. But even so I think that we cannot expect in the information age to not need information. And if it is that you meet somebody and they tell you some things, you don't even have to be suspicious of it. Just some basic things. When you go to the bank for a loan, they want to know what size shoes you wear. Oh, well,
Shauna said it. She said the bank do it for their
well, they're Shauna.
mental health.
We need to. We need to, because you find out they're not going to tell you certain things. They're showing you the representative right now. You might find out that 4 years ago they raped somebody. Wouldn't you want to know that? They're not going to volunteer that information.
So there are divergent views. Somebody in the comments said, Georgia said, I'll do a background check, but I wouldn't tell him. But she would use the information wisely though.
You wouldn't want to tell anybody that you're doing a background check on it. That's what I call a background check.
Hashtag wisdom. Right? So it's an important consideration, and the fact of the matter is that right now the way Jamaica run,
The world.
the place they are with,
Can't take a check.
right?
Then they're in another country and do all kind of things and come to Jamaica and start over. I want to know what they did in the other one.
Shirley says check the background. You need to know the family history.
Quite so.
And Renard says, remember this background check goes both ways.
I agree.
Equality.
Check
Right?
away. You want your check.
Hashtag equality.
There you go.
It's time for another giveaway because this is the J and Life class and we're very generous over here. So I want to do a giveaway, the second giveaway to the virtual tribe that's joining us. So to the first person who can correctly drop the framing that Kaysha mentioned earlier about how to date well. There's a particular term that she used. The first person who can drop that in the chat correctly, as vetted by my judges, will win another Amazon gift card from our JN family. And I want to leave room for the audience members. Are there any other questions? Because we're coming down to 8:30 p.m. and we have a giveaway for the audience. So let me see who win on screen here. All right. So while the audience is voting for the Amazon gift card and these people are getting ready to share their big gems on the microphone, let me just start to wrap us up. Like, what would you say for somebody who's looking for love and is now convinced by all of you that, yeah, man, the online thing can work? They're more open to it. What was like your major takeaway for them as it relates to how to show up well in the dating space?
Don't come from a space of desperation and you don't have any time. Don't take yourself off this clock. I don't know whose idea it was to put clocks and time limits on yourself. There's a lot of plans that we make for life before we turn 30. I'm 41 now. And I remember I sat down and I told myself all the things I wanted to achieve when I'm 30, and I laughed at my past self because I don't know why. So don't put a time limit on yourself.
Big.
Enter the thing with open eyes and just treat it for what it is and have fun. It can be a fun, interesting experience. You might even make some friends, but don't put a lot of weight on it. Just be clear and enjoy yourself.
Perfectly said. Just to clarify the question that the audience is battling with. So when Kaysha mentioned this framework, she named 4 elements of it. That's the one we're talking about. She said a lot of things, but it's not the Jesus Christ syndrome we're talking about right now, right? So it has 4 components to that model that she spoke about, all right? Kaysha, what's like your final takeaway for persons who want to date well?
In the online space?
Yeah. Well, generally,
it's my final and most important takeaway is linked to your question.
Okay, so we're going to put you last. All right, Diel.
Okay, I want to just piggyback on what Shelly said. I remember similarly when I was turning 25, I had a lot of expectations. I wanted to do this and that and so on and so forth. And I find that, and this may just help somebody that's out there right now listening, that a lot of people are out there, Shelly, because the expectations we put on ourselves, depressed and so on. Yeah. And I spoke to a friend last night, and she's very popular in the social media space. And you would say she's doing so well, but she put the age thing on herself. And she said, I am this age and I want. And she's there depressed, having panic attacks and so on. we have to take the pressure off ourselves. So I have a fitness club and we work out every night, females only.
Except you.
Except, I mean, I'm the instructor, so that doesn't count. But I say it every single night, every night. Do your best, forget the rest. That's all you can do in life. You know, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. We need to make this money, buy. We need to have a house, buy. We need to do this, we need to do that. Make a plan and do your best. That's all you can do in life, right? That's all you can do in life. Stuff will happen, you'll get thrown off. But, you know, make a plan and just keep going. That's what I would say. Piggybacking. Do your best.
Forget the rest.
We love that. It's not for that.
That can go on a t-shirt as well.
So we have several t-shirts like that. So I'm seeing some attempts which are aligned with what we're talking about, but not quite there.
Oh gosh,
so maybe
man.
we can extend
Kamala, you gotta give Nadine the prize.
Maybe we can extend it to the
Oh, but Nadine did well, Kamala.
All right.
Nadine
So
took
Nadine,
no man, Nadine took
especially
the
because
component.
judges are we in alignment? Judges said so because it's Kaysha judges. Kaysha says we're giving it to
Nadine. So she gave the
Nadine.
components. She gave the framework.
Yes.
And the one thing, as I was saying, if you had to take anything, and the word is dating masterfully. Dating masterfully. You know, take the pressure. And I think we're all saying the same thing. Take the pressure off of it. Stop requiring the next swipe to be a husband. The next swipe could be a husband or it could not be a husband. Swipe again and again and again. Yeah. So that's what I would say. Open, curious, detached, vulnerable, and just really with a high expectation that you will find your partner.
Yeah.
You know?
So in case anybody wants to get in touch with you, it's a question about the fitness group. Is it open to members of this group? They just drop maybe.
No, we have a women there, so
a lot of women want to be knowing how they can.
It's a fitness group.
Sure. So we work out online. It's an online session.
How do they find you?
They can find me on Instagram, Diel Kingdom. I'll respond to your DMs in a timely manner.
In a timely manner. And this is tried and proven, right? That evidence that you're
quite so.
Kaysha Franklin Leveridge, people want to be stepping into the dating master fully and exploring you space. So tell them about what they can find you and what they can expect.
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram or on Facebook. I'm single 2 snatched.
Number 2.
Yes, single number 2 snatched. And I basically help women to step into love through following a 4-step framework. Yes, clear your blocks and barriers to love. Get extremely clear on the thing that you're attracting so you can see it. You will know it when you see it, and you know it is not it when you don't see it. Yes? Own your voice and speak your truth, because too many times women make up stories. They don't want to be true. They pretend they like somebody they don't, and up-level your feeling of self-value, self-worth, deservedness, and entitlement. And then just magnetize love. Yes. Single to snatch. Yes. And I got all kind of programs from free to premium. So jump on board and let's have a chat. And just like Diel, I'll answer your DMs. Yeah.
Certified professional coach has said it well. Lady Shelly, how can people get in touch with you?
All right. I serve our community in several capacities, and I refuse to go anywhere and not pick up HerFlow. HerFlow is my foundation. We are the foremost organization that handles period poverty, ending period poverty in Jamaica. So please feel free to go on and follow us, HerFlow. I encourage everybody to walk with extra menstrual products. There are people amongst you right now who cannot afford them and they will never ask you for it because they think you're going to shame them about it. So if you work in an office and you have a bathroom, make sure menstrual products are in the bathroom. Men, carry menstrual products in your vehicle, put them in your pocket. Tampons don't take up a lot of space. Trust me, you're going to get a lot of points with women if you happen to have a menstrual product when you need it the most. And so you can follow me on HerFlow, HerFlow, on all the different platforms. We're very, very active on social media. And thank you in advance for any support that you can give us. Or even if you don't want to support us directly, help somebody you know who is in need of menstrual products. It's about dignified periods, and too many Jamaicans are experiencing undignified periods just because they don't have access to menstrual products.
We couldn't have chosen a better panel. For our in-house audience, I'm so glad you're here, right? The oohs and the ahs and the I made my whole night. So thank you all for coming. Yes. And just because we're close to being out of time, I want to just go ahead and just extend the in-person gifts to our two brave audience members who decided to come and speak up at the night and share their thoughts. So can we just give Walter? They have one for themselves, an Amazon gift card, courtesy of the amazing JN.
So I still have my book. So I can give my book to Michaela?
Anybody who wants it, it's your choice.
She wants it.
Oh, all right.
Oh, you want to ask a question?
No, I give to Michaela.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Already I celebrate. Should we take it back from it?
And so for this very first episode of season 4 of the Jane Circle Life class series, I am your host. I enjoyed being your host. I'm Kamala McWhinney, Associate Clinical Psychologist and Coach. And I would love to have you come back and join us virtually as well as in person. When is it going to be, team? 2 weeks from now, 2 Wednesdays from now. So we're taking a break next week and then we come back the other week, Wednesday. And we're going to be touching on a very important topic of trauma, right? So come for another power-packed, vibrant, other adjectives, inspiring, right?
Educational.
Educational.
We like to learn from the students.
Entertaining.
Inspirational
conversation. Facilitated by the amazing JN Group. So thank you all again.
Thank you, JN Group. You're so awesome.
We love them. And until next time, take care of the good selves and come back to Life Class.
Well, that's it.
Production team, can we